I was doing my what feels like government appointed scrolling.
Yeah.
I do it so obligingly. Well, every day I come home, it's like, right, time to decompress. Straight to the phone, scroll. Usually it's shite. Usually I forget what I watched immediately. There's nothing funny. I might send a couple your way, send a couple other people's way,
And then they're forgotten.
And then they might get a like, and you go, "Do they actually like it, or do they just are they sick of me sending it?"
Did they see I saw they sent it?
Yeah. So But besides that, well, someone's got a gem, and I found a post from Chicharito Hernandez.
Legend.
What was his first name?
Little P.
Oh yeah. Sorry, not the first. His nickname, Little P. Little P. That's what Chicharito means. It's a clip taken out of context. Like all great clips are.
Yeah.
But I think just a fast thing that's posted on his own page. Do you know what I mean? He posts himself
for the brand.
It looks like some kind of documentary, not a high end documentary,
not a pogmentary,
not like an all or nothing Amazon Prime type.
Yeah.
Just like one that maybe he finds himself, perhaps. But I don't know. I'll play the clip.
My reminder: be aware, be grateful. Everything is all right. Every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours?
Yeah.
You just have an alarm that just goes. I like that.
Every 3 hours.
What is going on there?
As a reference, again, maybe a bit of a visual gag. He's in his kitchen. It's extremely white kitchen.
Like all footballers' houses are.
Yeah, wearing a white branded t-shirt, brand at the front. And his alarm is going off, like an iPhone alarm. And he said, "Oh, it's just my reminder to be grateful, be happy. Everything's going to be all right." I went, "Oh, cool." I went, "Every 3 hours." And then the camera went, "Every 3 hours?" I went, "Yeah." Every 3 hours.
You're insane.
Sounds like he's having a rough time. I have not heard of him for a while. I hope he's doing okay. I mean, this clip... again, because he posts himself, it feels like a cry for help.
So if he's up at, say, at late as 9 a.m, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, does it go through the night?
Well, if it does, he'll be reminded that everything is going to be all right.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
Thank God. I thought the alarm was going off there. Oh no, it's okay. It's just my reminder to be grateful and everything's going to be okay.
The thoughts creep in around the 2 hour 55-minute mark.
I can imagine him sweating at like 2 hours 30 minutes. Like, fuck, I'm not sure about this. Is everything okay? I'm not sure about this. Do I remember that correctly? Is everything be okay, or is everything going to be not okay? I don't remember. And then bam,
bing boom, bing boom, boom.
The worst sound in the world, the iPhone alarm. Oh my God, the calming noise of the iPhone alarm.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Melodrama upon melodrama.
This is utterly
Shameful, disgraceful piece of nonsense.
He was balls off it yesterday.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all
Plenty
the
of
time.
time, no problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. Premier League preview is here.
Yeah, the big one.
The one you've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
We're previewing what's going to be a very important part of the next 10 months of our lives.
Yeah.
This will decide
the only part.
if we're happy, if we're sad, if we're raging, if the new rules are working, if they're not working. All depending on where your team sits in the league. Or
Yes.
maybe you're just a fan of the game. Maybe you're a fantasy football expert and you're looking for tips. You're scouring the internet for podcasts with tips, and you've seen that one of our tags says fantasy football. Well, guess
and
what?
you say, what the hell is this?
And you go, why are they still talking? Why are they talking about the fantasy football? Well, we're going to cover the whole thing. There's been a lot of changes over the summer, from new rules into the game itself. To a host of new players, to some players leaving, changing club. I mean, feels like a very new look Premier League this year. in terms of the personnel change from teams. So we're going to go through the teams. We're going to go through our favorites, our top picks for, I guess the top four, which is the most important maybe.
Yeah, the most important trophy in the league.
Because the actual trophy, you don't have to be an Oppenheimer, Will, to guess that one. Is that going to be the new phrase now?
I don't know about that.
Because Einstein's actually in the movie, so it'd be But anyways, we'll talk about Oppenheimer, and we're going to talk about Barbie, and we're going to be
every week, again and again until we die.
Barbie's done a billion. It's done $1 billion.
Yeah, of course it has. It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah, I did see they spent more on the marketing than they did in the actual movie. And that's
the new move. That's what we should be doing.
That is the kind of stuff we should be doing, Will. Marketing absolute shit into people's...
Yeah, spending any money.
Tricking people into thinking that this is a good show. Back to football, Will. Immediately sidetracked into Barbie.
Yeah.
That's what the money gets you. They just suck everything
That's
in.
what you pay for.
Anyhow, we are looking at the Premier League. We might dabble in the Champions League, but that's always just a complete guess, isn't it? Because you just...
Yeah. I haven't seen the teams except for the knockout games they played last year. I haven't a clue about all of the rest. But the Premier League, that I can get behind.
Yeah. Every in the Champions League, it gets to after the group stages, the first round, or maybe the third round of the group stages, and a team that you follow, an English team usually, is playing someone. And as the team is warming up, the graphics coming up with the team. Yeah. And they'd be like, AC Milan, of course, a club in absolute turmoil. Is this?
They're in the Champions League knockouts.
I thought it'd go pretty well as their manager has died. And he, it's always something if it was Premier League, it'd be the biggest news ever, but you never follow it and it sneaks up on you. That's not what we're worried about here today. We're worried about what we kind of know, what we see anyways. Yeah. I suppose first place to start, Will, is the new rules, which will, I think,
changes.
Change the game as we know it to its core.
Again, every year.
I think I'm going to get a conspiracy in there early, Will. This is to distract from VAR.
Yeah, I could see that.
This is a crazy change, and no one's talking about VAR anymore. Until the first apology comes from VAR, and they're like, wait a minute, this thing's bad as well.
Unanimously panned by players and managers alike. The new rules are so far.
What have players and managers been against for feels maybe 6, 7, 8 years even maybe?
Yeah.
They've been against more games, more time on the pitch, less recovery, crazier schedules.
What if we ignored that and made the games much longer?
Yeah. There's this. I think it was last year. Was the stat of Newcastle versus Arsenal?
That killed it. That killed the game dead.
That was a stat that I think pretty much everyone said that. Surely that's not really. Yeah. Is that how long the ball was in play? That's not very long at all.
And then you think on it and you go, "Oh yeah, it would be."
Yeah. Well, people have done the research. They've looked into it. After the fact, after FIFA have already made their decision, which they're like the ultimate referee. They're not going to change their decision now, lads.
Yeah.
They're not going to go back at it,
Yeah. They've never gone back on anything.
Well, they'll certainly trial it out.
Yeah.
They're not going to go back before they even trial it. They're going to...
No, they'll do a full season for sure.
They're going to do a full season, ruin somebody's peak years, and then they go, in the grand scheme of it, no one's going to remember your peak years. So it's fine. The rule that we haven't mentioned it yet, but the rule is, anybody watched the World Cup, this World Cup for the women's or the previous World Cup for the men's, one of the standout features was the added time.
Extra time.
They were pooling up all the wasted time, all the rolling around, all the diving. It's like all the complaints that people who don't watch football have about football.
Yeah.
Too much diving, too much faking, too much, But the people who watch this, or you're a fan of, or whatever, you go, when your team is playing Man City or PSG, or, I'm going to throw out there, Man United, the big money houses, you're like, fuck yeah, we're going to waste time. Look at their fucking team. This. Look at their bench. Look at their manager. Look how many doctors they have on the sideline. We're going to give it back to them.
I'm kicking this throw in away.
We're trying to hold this in the corner as long as we can. If it takes away 30 seconds, good, All
right, lads, we're 20 minutes in. Everyone, slow it down.
How many times have Ireland scored too early?
Exactly.
You know, this is going to come against the smaller teams. That's the issue I think what most people have, because most people support the smaller teams because there's only so many good teams. So logically, most people support the smaller team that this benefits. And what it's going to do is it's going to make the games longer at the start, I think. But ultimately, it will just be like, well, why am I bothering time wasting? Why am I bothering trying to hunt the ball?
Oh, well, I better have a go here against City.
And then City
better chase the ball.
Run right into their trap. They'll turn it over. Or something like Liverpool. That's exactly what they want you to do. They don't want you to hunt the ball. They want you to run at us.
Yeah.
And then we get the ball. We break at pace. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nil. Football is better.
It's a weird one as well, though, because it does, like during the World Cup, it did make for enjoyable finishes to games.
Yeah.
Definitely. We had mentioned before a few times that, like, because it is such a new rule and like players weren't used to it, there was a real adapting period where the last 10 minutes were just barrages of attack against a defense who had no idea how much longer they had to hold on for. So there was utter panic. I think the Premier League will be like that for a good half a season at least.
Yeah, that's the thing with new rules, is that eventually teams think of ways to adapt to it and outsmart it, and bring it back to their advantage, essentially. And that's the thing. I mean, the worst thing you can do in against a top team like a City or Liverpool with just like inch-perfect passing and ridiculous pace is give the ball away.
Yeah,
when you're not set. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it's playing into. So I'm imagining teams won't do that. They're not just going to say, well, listen, we better just do the one thing we know we were not meant to do. They'll come up with different ways to waste time, but it'll just be, it won't be staying down the ground injured. It won't be holding the ball, on a throw, be like, am I throwing the ball? Do you want to throw the ball? And you leave it down the right back. It's all being added on. So we'll just see different ways of time wasting. But for the first, 6 months anyways, it's going to see some results where I think
you're punished for trying it.
You're punished. And the thing with the World Cup as well, it was like, okay, right, it's 85 minutes, it's 2-1 down, and we're going out, so we may as well lose by
you have to get a result,
3-1, 4-1, whatever. The team who's holding on is like, okay, right, we have, 5 minutes, maybe 2-3 extra to hold on. And the closer you get, you're doing no attacking, you're doing no anything, you're just like hoofing it along. No nonsense football, you might call it. Well.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, that's just your natural reaction because you see the time. And then there's an extra 6-7 minutes onto it. So it becomes more exasperated, more like, fucking hell, when is this game going to ever end? I've hoofed it like 3 times now. And the team as well is like, they become more and more like, well, fuck it. Like the time is, we're basically in nothing time here. This isn't even real time. I'm just going to lash it here from 40 yards. And that's where you saw exciting ends, because like people they lost touch with the game plan, the structure, the shape. It was all out the window. It was just people attacking and hoof the ball away. Again, people will say, right, it's the average time over the last 6 weeks at a time given by this referee has been 6 minutes. So the new end of game time is 91 minutes or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? And it'll go from there. But yeah, the first few weeks, I am predicting some horrendous hammerings.
Oh yeah, horrendous hammerings and long games.
Yeah, long games. That's what I think it was at Kevin De Bruyne came out and
Raphael Varane. I have Varane's quotes here.
Varane had an essay on Twitter about it.
Varane also talks about in this, it's not the only new rule. They've also brought in a rule where any surrounding of the referee or dissent is an instant yellow. So they're clamping down that kind of thing, which they did need to do. It was a bit out of hand last year, but also when you combine that with you have to mentally be switched on for a full 90 minutes, no less. And then also you're not allowed to react to decisions. It's exhausting for players.
Yeah, no reacting to the ref. And also it's, last year when he was your man, the Tottenham manager, who was Stellini, who De Zerbi was like roaring abuse at him, and he was like stoically looking forward, like, don't react, Stellini, you got this. And then he got sent off, like, you need to control your players. It's like, I didn't know that was the rule. Apparently that's putting it out with the players as well. So say whatever, it's Anthony's getting up in the ref's face,
which is one to do.
Bruno Hernandez might get booked.
And that's a definite second yellow for him. That's be true.
I mean, that whole Man United team,
yeah, there's a lot of, I do foresee a lot of red card for dissent coming up this season.
Yeah, that again, the first 6 weeks, it's going to change the whole shape of the league.
And because also it's like, if you're just like, fuck off, ref, you went, oh, what'd you say? That's a card now.
Yeah.
I know you used to say that all the time.
They brought that in Gaelic as well. That was the black card for abusing ref. I mean, like, at a certain point, it gets to a level where it's like, okay, I am just coming out here getting abused by people who I don't know. Like,
just doing my job.
Tell me to fuck off, you prick. It's like, but
I'm following the rules
that's
for
the
you.
letter of the law. That is the absolute letter of the law. How am I a prick? Yeah, that's just
you're the prick.
That's just bad brain juice now for no reason. And it does. And also, all joking aside, it does sway the ref, being like,
yes,
I know I'm playing at home here. That team's quite aggressive. I don't want to be called a prick for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to maybe let that one slide. And if I do call free on them, I'm going to make sure I'm far away.
Yeah.
And then subconsciously, not even, consciously.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about them a lot. But again, Man United thrived on being a place where referees would come to and go, they can do whatever they like. I don't want to listen to Keane and the co surrounding me today, thanks.
Yeah.
Don't need Ferguson coming at me in a press conference. They lived on that for a long time.
Chelsea were very good at that as well. Their peak first round in the referee. Like, successful teams did do it, and it does constantly or subconsciously, it affects the referee's decision on how they manage your team. So, I mean, I think it felt like it had cooled for a bit there. And there's a few instances there. Again, I keep talking about Man United, but the most one that sticks in my mind is Rooney clapping on that ref when he was like 22 or whatever. And he got sent off. And that was like, okay, this is really bad. That was quite disrespectful. I felt like it had gone like a slow downward curve and it's kind of coming back up again, where people are just like, yeah, fuck, let's just shout at him and see what happens. So I think I do kind of welcome that one. And again, you can say no more shouting at referee or you'll be in trouble. Or you can say, we will sanction your captain and probably your best player if you or anybody else lashes out. So you're not letting yourself down. You can't just like walk off angrily. It's like, no, your captain's being walked off and all your players are looking at you angrily. Yeah. That's a real deterrent, kind of like the atomic bomb will in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, very good. That's 2 references now. The downloads will be through the roof.
Great movie, never seen it.
So here is some of Varane's quotes, kind of speaking on behalf of the players' union. He said, we had a meeting last week with the FA. They recommended the new referees' decisions and rules. From the managers and players, we've shared our concerns for many years now that there are too many games, the schedule is overcrowded, and it's at a dangerous level for players physically and for their mental well-being. Despite our feedback, they have now recommended longer games, more intensity and less emotions to be shown by players. We just want to be in good condition on the pitch to give 100% to our club of fans. As a player, I feel very privileged to do the job I have every day, but I feel these changes are damaging our game. We want to be at our maximum level, the best we can be, and put on amazing performances. I believe it's important we, players and managers, highlight these issues, but it's also more important that we are listened to.
All right, Harry Maguire, how much you make a week? Get over yourself, will you? Yeah, it's I jokingly I say that, but I have seen a bit of that. Like if I was getting paid $200,000 a week, it's like, well, first of all, it's more like $400,000 a week nowadays.
Yeah, come on, what year is it, mate?
But second of all, that doesn't matter. But it's there is a point where like you can't say anything because it's like, well, you make more than me, so your complaints are relevant.
But it's like it does feel like, he doesn't want to play an extra 5 minutes. It's not though. It's an extra half an hour of sprinting around a big pitch for twice a week or 3 times a week.
Well, it's like, whatever. The money is relevant. That's the money is being generated by the players, which is the labor. Where should the money go? Like the corporations, like the club owners who like so many other ways in every other company, but even in football, in FIFA, like the marketing guys or the fucking the guys who run the cringy social media posts, they all get paid, probably more than you as well. Yeah. But like, it's just the players are the face for it. And they go, we think our working conditions have worsened. And people say,
oh, big baby.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's, it's someone who works for a company and they're saying, I don't like these working conditions. They're worse than they used to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care. I don't believe you, and I think you're pampered, and you're not worth the money you're paid and all that stuff. And it's just, I don't know why people have such an issue with footballers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially when it's something like they have that attitude of being like, oh, like, shut up. Also, now perform for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch every game.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're paying to watch them, but then they say, well, I won't be able to, this is going to make things worse. Like, in a way, like, they are thinking about themselves, but like they're also thinking about the overall game, which is to you the overall product. It's not going to be as good. Players are going to be more tired. There's going to be more injuries to your favorite players, the best players.
Yeah,
like it's not. So I was saying that it suits the big teams. The big players are saying, well, this doesn't suit my knees.
Yeah, exactly. It suits the big teams because they have more players.
Yeah, because they'll have the ball. But I mean, for the already truncated schedule that is the Premier League and Champions League and cup competitions, it's the last thing that they really wanted. But very little sympathy online is what I'm seeing for us. Now, maybe people might accuse us of being bootlickers, Will.
Yeah. Scabs.
And by the way, Saudi Arabia, if you're listening, we are.
Yeah. We just haven't been paid to lick the right boot yet.
we're currently just like pro bono bootlicking right now, Give Varane a break. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting season because there is a lot of changes to it. And like I say, that adapting period is where the chaos will happen. Eventually they'll figure it out. And
they have sports scientists to work this thing out. They'll have it down pat in no time.
Yeah, they'll know what to do. But speaking of that, Will, I took you pot shots there that marketing people and people do social media posts. You saw the Man United one.
Which one?
The Roy Keane one.
Oh, the devil one. Yeah. Mad. I was actually very surprised that not that he does like advertising or stuff like that.
I thought he would cut ties with Man United.
That's what I thought. I was very surprised he was involved with the club at an official level. Like, he essentially ran Maguire and De Gea out of the club. Like, it's mad he's just allowed to do ads with them now.
This is what I think about if you were Maguire or De Gea as well.
Yeah.
De Gea, who he threatened to box, I'd be waiting for us out there.
I'd be swinging at him.
I'd be swinging at him.
I would be fighting him at half time. There's no getting away from that. I would be swinging punches at that guy.
And then you see him come back like, I don't know.
These players will let you down again and again and again. Rashford, Maguire.
Yeah, and then you like come up on your social media because you probably still follow them, or maybe I don't know. But if you see it, if you're Maguire who sees a lot of things, you see this, and then it's a pact. I mean, like we should play the clip for him who hasn't heard.
Yeah.
So you're a devil, are you? Well, let's remind you of the terms. The devil isn't something you wear. It's more like a pact. A deal, shall we say. It's not for everyone. We expect a lot. And as sure as the sun will rise, we will know if you mean it.
So have a good long think.
What do you get in return? What's on offer?
Manchester United!
So there it is. No small print, sign on a dotted line. But you already signed. Didn't you? Before you were even born.
Again, like, didn't he step away from the club for a long time because he had a beef with Alex Ferguson? It's like, I can't look at the games anymore with him in charge.
He over a few years ago at I think it was an overlap show in Dublin, was actively still like, I hate Alex Ferguson and have no intention of ever reconciling with that man, no matter how big his brain hemorrhage was.
Yeah, I remember seeing that he said he can finally go to games now again. Like the years after Ferguson had retired, like, it left such a bad taste in his mouth. Then he's doing this kind of, it's forever, there's no getting out.
Fuck off.
Unless you want to, and then you can stop for a while, and then you can come back. if we're playing badly, then yeah, maybe take a break. He's also not very good at that. I mean,
no, definitely not.
It also dispels my other conspiracy that he was putting on an act, because when he does try to act, it's very wooden and not very good. He's much better giving his own like actual off the cuff marks. When he said
that's real anger, yeah.
When he said he would swing De Gea, he actually meant that. That's crazy, but he did.
And that's the thing as well, is like him being involved in these adverts kind of, it gives weight to the things he was saying, because it's like, hey, the club still like is on board with him. They weren't like distancing themselves from this guy saying this stuff. Maybe it's true. Maybe I should be swinging at De Gea if I was a Man United player. Yeah,
well, again, back to De Gea and Maguire, like you are obviously when you're playing for Man United, you're seeing these Roy Keane viral clips that were like every week they were churning them out.
Yeah,
and you're thinking, that's just one guy, a former player has
Sky Sports getting clicks,
and you can chalk it off to anything, and then you see the club who pushed you out now endorsing this man, like this is the face of our club, like so, like
he's back.
So when you were like looking at that stuff, you were like, he's right. That's the whole, it's a real kick in the teeth. The one last kick as you're out the door, like fuck you, Maguire, fuck you, De Gea. Yeah. We're taking this guy's side. We're on Team Keane here.
Yeah. Did you see the controversy around the new kit? Very weird.
Doesn't have the crest on it fully.
That's not what the controversy is.
Oh.
The controversy is the ad and the where the crest is just the devil.
Yeah.
A lot of TikTok clips gone up of like another satanic symbol right in your face, people. Man United now. You can't escape it. The Illuminati and Satan is everywhere.
That is true.
They've been called the Red Devils forever.
Why do you think that is, Will?
Yeah, because they sold their soul to Satan to win all those leagues.
How many numbers in Red Devil? 11. How many devils are there? 9. Should I keep going? Did you see that clip recently? Oh, man. You started listing out things with 11 letters in them, 11 and 9 letters in them. New York, 11 letters. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or like the 11th state in the Union. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it was just like, again, like, how can we make a red shirt different this year? Every year at this. And it's like some lad, and they were like, I remember we used to have it for 2 years. Life was good back then. We didn't
even do an ad.
People knew who we were back then. We didn't need any of those.
This is like, that kit is probably my favorite United kit in a long time. But now I don't want to buy it because of the fucking ad. Because people be like, oh, devil.
Devil worshipping, yeah. I saw a few of that, the Satanic Club like that. But it's a nice kit. I'll give them that. Yeah. I don't like the adverts. I don't like the satanic connotations. But I like the kit. I like the red. I like the white.
I'm a Satanist forever, Kyle. Roy Keane told me so.
It's a pact.
Very weird.
And you saw the prawn sandwich at the end as well.
Yeah. Which again, it's like, why are you giving credence to all these things?
These are things that he made fun of the club that you're promoting.
About you!
Like, there's one thing's like, like being part of the joke, and then it's just like bringing up embarrassing moments like that. We're true. It wasn't like, these crazy things that were like rumors. Like, that was true. That was a huge problem. Anyhow, enough about Roy Keane. He supports the show enough.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted with it. Maguire, De Gea, you should hang your heads in shame.
Should we have a look then, Will, at our predictions? I said top 4 is the most important because, I think Man City are just going to win the league, aren't
they? I think this is the best chance of them not winning in a long time, but also they have signed 100 million worth of Guardiola, who's an amazing player.
He's pretty good.
Walker is staying, Bernardo Silva is staying, and now they're signing Paqueta from West Ham as well. Probably just to sit on the bench.
Yeah, to feel like, say, that Gundogan role, play 15.
Who they also got Kovacic for as well.
Yeah, so they've strengthened again. They still have Haaland. They still have the rarely seen Alvarez.
Yeah.
With, sitting on that bench. I wonder if uncomfortable on that bench with a gold World Cup medal in his back pocket. And
he
again,
won every trophy last season on the planet.
Yeah, and it wasn't that like he was just on the team. Like, he was so good in that World Cup. It's like, whoa, who's this guy playing for? It's like, you don't want to know. It'll only make you sad. Just enjoy Messi winning the trophy. Don't worry about young Alvarez there. He'll be fine. So yeah, I think they are very good. Now, obviously, look, they lost to Arsenal. No shame on that ever.
Hey, did you hear Pep talking about being asked about the Charity Shields? How many he's won?
Oh, no, I didn't.
3 in a row. We lost 3 in a row. Do you know why? Because we won the Premier League. Sorry?
Does it really matter?
What?
Losing this game.
Congratulate Arsenal, it's football. Sometimes win, sometimes lose. I want to say something. The exceptional is win the treble. You know? This is exceptional.
No, you do love that about Pep. He is a psychotic winner. You know, he's not going to take any trophy loss. It's like, yeah, whatever, I'll give him that one. It's like, he'll try to do that, but he can't hide how annoyed he is.
Yeah.
Like, you knew if that had gone on any longer, they would have mentioned, like, Wenger or something.
Yeah,
you know? How many trophies Wenger win? How many Green Shields did he win in the last 10 years? Huh? Am I right?
You would have brought up the earthquake somewhere.
Yeah, something like that, you know. You know, there's still a war in Ukraine, by the way. Fuck's sake. Talking about the Community Shield. Like, I give a fuck anyways. I don't care about this. I've won loads of them. They were a bit kind of backwards and forward. I mean, I hesitate to bring up the Simpsons clip of pass to the center, hold it. But it
classic.
It was a bit like that in the first half.
Yeah. But it's too, because it's the Community Shield is such a weird one because it's like, it's preseason friendly, kind of, but also it could really matter if we win. You know, mentally it's huge. So I think both teams were a bit not nervous, but cagey.
Yeah, they were a bit cagey.
Because you don't want to also show too much to the team you're going to be battling for the league for. Like, you don't want to be like, oh, this is what they're doing this season.
Yeah, and maybe there's a bit of that too, that it was like, let's just go through the motions here a bit. And
no injuries, please.
I know it was the last minute winner, or last minute equalizer that got Arsenal back in. So even when City were pretending to do a tactic, they still managed to almost win the game. And in a normal season, they would have. Yeah, and that would have been it. And it would have been like, yeah, well, that's it. If you remember this on last year, Will, it was Liverpool playing Man City.
Yes.
Haaland missed a sitter.
Had a stinker flop.
Darren Nunez was the one with the goal that day. So, this is probably more insignificant than winning the transfer market, you know?
Yeah. It's big in that, I think, for Arsenal to be like, oh my God, we can beat them. It's possible. It's actually possible.
Yeah. No, I think for City, that's the only thing. Because losing to Liverpool, they've lost to Liverpool before. Liverpool didn't have
you went back and forth.
That thing of like, we can't beat this team. Arsenal, they lost
they
again.
Did. They very clearly did. Did you see Arteta's reaction when they won?
Oh, yeah. You, like, again, and it might be meaningless. It might be whatever. Oh, you haven't beat them in. We've beaten them. You need something to put in the dressing room to say, listen, lads, we've beaten these lads before. And then when you're in the pre-match thing, you don't say, well, it wasn't at the Community Shield, boss. I mean, come on, we can't really count that, can we? Are we
you're out with the club, but
well, like, you're not even thinking that logically. You're thinking, yeah, we fucking have. You know, let's do it. But if you're like, we've nearly beaten these lads before, thinking, oh yeah, that's already good.
4 times we've been nearly there.
We may have lost in every single competition this team, but this is the day. It's like, that doesn't really do it for me. But if you say we've beaten these lads aren't that good. We can beat them. We've gone toe-to-toe with them, you know.
Yeah.
They've lost a step. Just make up shit, you know. People will go with it. But you need something to base it on. If there's no wins in the record, like, we've never beaten them. We're never going to beat them.
Especially when you have new players in, like Rice and that. Because I think it makes the rest of the team buy in, like, oh, maybe we are contenders. You know, maybe these boys do transform the team.
Exactly. You just need some kind of spark to create the delusion. And then when you get a real win, it's like, okay, now there's something concrete. Now it's like,
I told you, lads.
This is all came from the Community Shield, I'll say. Yeah, look, we're spending way too much time on the Community Shield, let's be honest, because it's you know, it's nothing. It's just a preseason game, essentially.
It's immediately forgotten as soon as the season starts.
The season starts in 3 days, Friday?
Friday, yeah.
City versus Burnley.
Mentor versus student, yeah.
Another Pep alumni. Who was the last person who had all these people under them? Was it Cruyff, maybe? People who were managed under Cruyff. It seems to be like, you know, former players of the like Barcelona team in '92. Or like, obviously Pep is a former player of that Barcelona team. I think now we're going to see former Pep players. Obviously Arteta didn't really play under Pep, but he was assistant manager. We're seeing Vincent Kompany now.
Xavi,
obviously.
Ten Hag was with him in Bayern Munich.
Yeah, David Silva's retired this year. It won't be long. You know, apparently, I think Joe Hart described him as like weak, slow, no right foot, but like just you see, it makes no sense how good he is. You know, that's a manager's brain right there. He can see things that people can't. So I think that's we're going to see more of that now in the coming years. Master versus student, because Pep's still young as for a manager, you know, but his players obviously had a lot of players over the years. So we'll see. Yeah, are we staying steady for the trophy?
I think so. I think that's a fair bet. I think for the third season in a row, we're saying that.
Who are the contenders then, realistically?
I do think this will be a more tightly contested league. I think there'll be more of a battle for the league rather than the league plus the battle for top 4 this year.
Okay. Are we saying Arsenal to make another title charge?
I think so, but I don't think it'll be I don't think they'll be like on top for the majority of the season like last year. That was mad.
Yeah, that was
really mad.
That was an anomaly, right? I think that was just. But the reason I said that they would make a title charge last year was because it was going to be a weird season with the World Cup in the middle. This one, it's not going to be as weird. It'll never be as weird as that ever again, I don't think.
But they've strengthened.
They've strengthened, and then the extra time and the surrounding referees, we're going to see people sent off. Like it costs Man United so much. Casemiro missing those games, being sent off.
Yeah.
You're going to see different clubs being affected by this.
And those were the clubs who gave Arsenal trouble last year. Like, again, it was all stemmed from the Newcastle game where they just kicked them off the pitch, kicked the ball out of play, and did that for 90 minutes while Arsenal tried to play their beautiful brand of football.
So I don't know. Maybe they could make a push for it. I definitely put them in the top 4, but
David Raya officially in on a season-long loan with option to buy.
You've got one season to impress, David.
That is the pressure a goalkeeper needs.
This is literally the opposite of what we said. Don't even listen to the podcast. We'll even listen to the show.
No, it's a very odd move, I think. I just don't get it. Now, of course, if Ramsdale gets injured, you're after selling Matt Turner. But it seems like it's too big a name for a backup goalie. The backup goalie should always be much, much, much worse than the main goalkeeper.
Whoever fucking David Raya's agent is should be shot. That's a terrible move. At the season of his life, and then like, I got you a big move. Good news is it's to Arsenal. Bad news, it's on a season-long loan.
Yeah, there's no transfer fee.
Like, your wages
also your backup.
Your wages will remain the same. Yes. No, it's. I guess for Ramsdale, it's a little bit of confidence for him, being like, "Don't worry, he's only on loan. You're still number 1." But then there's secret saying to Raya, "Hey, if you're good enough, maybe it's going to be a permanent move. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, it's in your hands, you know."
Yeah.
So maybe they're playing both sides of this, keeping Ramsdale confident, but also having a ready-made kind of replacement if it comes to that. Maybe it's the best of both worlds. I don't know. But yeah, no, I like Arsenal's chances this year. The only thing is the striker. I saw Kai Havertz playing in front for them in the Community Shield. Jesus obviously injured.
And we said it before, Jesus was not the 25 goal a season striker that Premier League winning teams have these days.
Yeah, so that's I think why they won't win the league.
Yeah, I agree.
They need more goals up front. But
they'll be solid.
They'll be solid. They still have a very good midfield. The defense is still intact.
Bigger squad as well. They didn't really sell anyone.
Yeah, could be a good year in the Champions League. Who knows?
Yeah,
knockout football.
Yeah.
Then I suppose you're looking at Liverpool, who've spent a lot of money, a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Mostly outs. Did you see Van Dijk's quotes and Gary Neville's quotes?
No.
Things are getting a little bit nervy over in Anfield at the moment because they've obviously sold the players they had planned to sell, and then these 2 great offers came in for Henderson and Fabinho, and I thought, get rid of them as well. So I think they've gotten rid of, I think it's 7 players, and I think it's 7 out, 3 in at the moment, maybe even 2 in. Ooh. And they're desperately trying to haggle with Southampton to sign Lavia for 43 million, I think. And they keep going 40, and Southampton go 43, and they go 41, and they say 43. They say 41, but with add-ons. And the season starts in 2 days. And they have, at the moment, their starting CDM is Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones is not bad.
No, he's not bad, but he is not going to win you a league, I don't think.
No.
And then, if he's injured, I don't know who it is.
Harvey Elliott. possibly playing this middle there. Now you get to kind of.
I'll Google that.
Now we're getting that. Maybe that's not the best thing. I'd take Curtis Jones maybe with alongside McAllister and Szoboszlai, but
yeah. And again, it's a midfield that's never played together, apart from the preseason, of course. But like over the course of a season, you don't know how it's going to work out.
Well, that's it. Well, Liverpool Lavia is going to not have any preseason with Liverpool if he does sign. So, yeah, I think they're probably the opposite of Arsenal in a way that they're not very good in the middle, not very solid in the middle, anyways.
Great up front.
And they have a smaller squad than they did last year.
Smaller squad, and the defense. I don't think they improved the defense at all. And the defense was weak last year. Kanata is injury prone. Van Dijk's not what he used to be. So you know what's a bad sign? I saw a lot of Liverpool fans sharing a clip of Gary Neville on the overlap and saying, "I hate to say it, but I agree with him. He's talking sense."
The last 2 years, Chelsea have spent huge. Arsenal have spent huge. United have spent huge. City, to be fair, are City, and I think it's caught them out. It's caught the owners out. They haven't got the money to be able to compete. I think it's shocked them, the market. You know, the Bellingham deal, 100-odd million, Rice, 100-odd million, Fernandes, 100 million, Casido, 100 million. I think they're at that 50-60 and they're comfortable there. But I think they're at that point whereby they've hit the ceiling at a lower level than the other 4 or 5 clubs are at. And it's going to come and hit them like a ton of bricks at some point, because the manager at some point is going to wake up in the morning and go, because he's shielding them, there's no doubt. He's doing an unbelievable job. He's done the best job of anybody, I believe, in the last 7 or 8 years with the budget that he's had and the spend that he's had. But he can't keep doing it. He needs that money to be able to compete. They should just be going getting Caicedo now for him and saying, right, there you go, that's dealt with and sorted, it's 100 million. But they're not. They're trying to pinch someone off Southampton for 40 million quid, who's a good player, don't get me wrong. But Jurgen Klopp needs the real deal, because if you're talking about what you were talking about before, about challenging Manchester City, they can't do it with a player that's got potential. They need to do it with a player that's real. And I do think it's going to come back on the owners at some point. I know they're building the stadium, and they had to do that because the Anfield had fallen so far behind. So they're left with no choice, and that is driving revenue, and it'll pay itself off. But they're not investing in the team at the levels the other 4 or 5 teams are.
Yeah. Listen, Gary Neville always sounds like he's talking sense.
Yeah, he's good at talking.
But we've made some pretty concise.
We were saying all this about Liverpool years ago.
We've made some pretty smart sounding words ourselves in our time, and a lot of times it's blown up our face. So it's one of those things. They obviously haven't spent a lot of money on transfers, but they do spend a lot on wages.
Yes.
That was our whole kind of tactic. It was like, we don't need to spend a lot on the transfer window. We can get lads for a certain price, but the wages will get them. Because, like, you know, if you're still under contract or whatever, or you're not under contract, or you have a freedom to leave. If you're not Harry Kane, I'm trying to say, and you can just go where you want. It was a good tactic. And I think we said last week, like a few seasons ago, not that long ago, I suppose, when they had likes like Coutinho, or back when it's Suarez and then Coutinho, it's like any decent player they had, they would lose.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're like, you know, getting rid of their players at the end of their career when they can't do a full season. So you know they've from where they were, you know, I don't think they've been shocked or they've been passed out. I think they're on the right path, and you could see Szoboszlai and McAllister being like the 2 best midfielders in the league this year. You never know. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, but I think there's definitely stuff lacking in the squad, but also they're not in Champions League. We talked about this before. You can crash out the Europa League whenever you want, my friend. You know?
Look, it's a bad day. You get over it very quickly.
Yeah. People will laugh online, you know, on a Thursday evening. But, you know, by Saturday comes around and you're fresh.
More games.
No one's going to remember you going out to FC, you know, Cologne or wherever it is, you know, in the Europa League. No one's going to care. You know, again, like I said, the Champions League is one where it's like, well, what was this for? And no one's worried about the Europa League. Fucking, was it Juve said, you know what? Keep your Conference League.
Keep the look, we won't. We understand we fucked up, lads. We won't do it out of respect.
Yeah, out of respect, they said we don't want to play in this competition. So it's Champions League or bust for a club like Liverpool. So yeah, I think it could go either way. But I think with Klopp there as well, he'll work some magic with his team. You know, obviously if you got Caicedo in, that would be ideal. But yeah, I wouldn't surprise you if they get Livy in the last minute and then it's just this like seamless midfield of like, wow, Klopp just finds these diamonds in the rough, you know. So look, I think Liverpool will probably finish top 4 this year. I think I'm going to give them that. Because up front, again, it's about goals as well. You know, they have a lot of goals on that team. And they have Luis Diaz back, hopefully for the full season
I think
for
so.
him.
He's back, yeah.
There's definitely goals in that team. And instead of Klopp, he'll find a way around it, I think.
Now, he isn't. I will say Gary Neville isn't the only one who's negative about Liverpool's season going in. Something I've rarely seen. The captain of Liverpool also had a few words to say about their transfer business.
The new captain,
yeah. Virgil van Dijk. He said, speaking on fans' negativity surrounding the transfer window, I can definitely understand it, and I'm not a very negative person. But obviously, when a lot of players are leaving, when your captain is leaving, your vice captain is leaving, and at the moment there are only 2 incomings, and the way we've been playing possession really good, but defensively we could see goals, it's not good. I understand people having doubts.
He just listened, man. He's not talking, he's listening.
Yeah.
He's listening to the fans. Doesn't what they want to say. That's what a captain does.
I don't think they're going to make top 4 this year. I think...
Okay.
I think the defense is going to let them down. Not that the defense is bad, but I just think the depth isn't there in defense. And Van Dijk is not what he used to, and Konate will be injured at some stage. And Matip is going to be one who comes in. He can't really do it anymore. Gomez.
Wow, man, this is outrageous.
I don't think so, man.
I think Van Dijk is as good as he ever was, but I think he's been overrun in midfield because he had Henderson, Fabinho who couldn't run. Or,
I don't think he's as good.
Or my man Curtis Jones, who was also getting overrun. I mean, the midfield, like we saw like Vidic getting overrun at different times.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we saw him like dominate. It was like, well, yeah, well, one game he had Carrick in front of him, one game Carrick was injured. Well, you know, if you hold on the ball, if you're stopping that ball coming in, you're stopping the overlap, it makes a huge difference. Like, yeah, okay, that stat of him like never being dribbled by.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Is that I don't think he's at the level he was, but the level he was at was insane. It was like best player in the league nearly for a year or two. I don't think he's at that anymore, though.
Yeah, but he's not cooked. He's not washed.
No, I don't think he's washed.
Like this is, I think he still has a lot to offer. If that midfield can actually hold on to the ball this year and not get overrun, it'd be huge.
Yeah,
huge difference to him. And people say he's rolling back the years. He's actually improved. You'll see like think pieces on what he's doing differently. Like, yeah, they're not fucking get overrun midfield. It'd be as simple as that, you know. Or maybe if they move Trent from right back, he's not getting the winger run right at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I disagree, Will. I don't think he's finished. I don't think he's gotten worse. I think Matip is still quality as well, but same thing. You know, like if you're getting overrun 2-on-1, they're just going to pass around you, no matter who you are.
Yeah. I think 5th for Liverpool for me. Yeah.
Play the clip of you being shocked at me saying you like to be 4th and then finishing like 6th. How bad at this?
Below. Play the clip of me saying Newcastle are too big to go down.
Well, okay. Well, play the clip of me. Okay. Who are we talking to, by the way? There's no editor. There's no intern here. Well, you better clip. Yeah. Just the mics aren't plugged in. Another classic episode where we're not recording again. We've had a few of those folks. But not anymore. That was the old us. That was the old us. All right. Okay, we'll move on then to everyone's favourite club to make fun of, Tottenham.
Yes.
What the fuck has happened with Harry Kane? Like, we try to avoid this is not a dead top, a deep dive into Harry Kane, but it's just so interesting to me. How does this man live his life knowing that he's so made fun of, but also so revealed all across Europe? Bayern are trying to get him, but they can't get him.
And by God, they're trying. They're offered, I think, three offers now. And Spurs flat out said, no thanks.
Is Daniel Levy giving them a number, do you think? And they're like what Liverpool are doing with Levy, but on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
That's like he's saying 120 million. And saying, well, come on, 80 million.
His contract's up next. We can get him for free next year, bud. 120.
Okay, well, what about 90 plus? We give you something else. 120 million. Okay, well, what about is it that, or is it a case of where Daniel Levy's like, that's not closer. You're not close.
Yeah,
but with no number in his mind, and they're going, okay, what about this? And you go, no, we're still off somehow. We're still not hitting the right numbers.
This is the thing. It's like I think most people think that if Spurs got rid of Kane for a big bag of money,
yeah,
they might be better off in the long run rather than losing them for free next year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, things can change. This might be the season where he gets, hopefully not, but like an injury that takes him out for a while. And then it's like, oh, could have used that money and now he's gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just I just don't know why you wouldn't forget being sentimental. And obviously he's your best player, but just see it as a big bag of money. That's what the players have to be to you.
Yeah, exactly. I referenced the Coutinho thing earlier.
Yeah.
Like, again, where it's like, he's like such a good player. The whole thing revolves around him. But when the money came in, the number came in, was it 120 million?
120 million, yeah.
They said, well, look, it's big picture stuff here. How good is he? Is he worth that? What's that mean to us? Didn't they put that money into Van Dijk?
They bought Van Dijk and Alisson. It transformed the team because they were just able to go out and buy the best goalkeeper in the world, like that was available. They didn't have to haggle in the lower leagues or someone. They could just go out and get someone.
And maybe sometimes you're thinking, okay, this is Bayern. They can afford it. Like, they're not going to offer too much money. They're screwing me here somehow.
Yeah.
But like we saw now, looking back, that Barcelona were paying too much for Coutinho. They paid too much for many players, Coutinho being one of them. And you have to just make a judgment call and say, you know what? He's not worth that. Not to us, not to you. Whatever it's worth to you, I don't care. But he's not worth that to us. You look, Harry Kane, he's going out free next year. Again, he's in that danger zone of 30 plus where, you have to get used to how fast you can run or what you can do with your body, how you can train. Again, touch wood, you wouldn't wish on any player. This could be the one that injures him. And he actually loses such a yard of pace that he can't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
And he's not a 20-goal a season person ever again. You are then going to what? Re-sign him? Like, if he doesn't go to Bayern now, is he going to go to Tottenham and say, well, I want a new contract?
Well, that's the thing. I assume that's the plan, is that he's probably thinking either Bayern now or this is it for me.
Exactly. So then if you're Tottenham, you're saying, okay, what, 400 grand a week, 3-year deal for a 30-year-old? And again, I'm not saying that injuries are definitely going to happen, but it's in that realm, it's in that risky zone. And it could happen to any player, obviously, anytime. But I mean, or big bag of money.
Big bag of money.
Big bag of money to you or big bag of money to him over the course of the next 3 years, which may or may not come back to you in a good way.
Yeah, and it's that thing of like, again, now I will say the big bag of money does not get you as far as it used to. A big bag of money is probably one, maybe two players now. It used to be many. But if you can get two important players in and Kane has to go, maybe that's like it's a net positive, do you know what I mean? If you have like an unbelievable right back now, and that's it, that's sorted for the next 10 years, and an unbelievable centre mid, and everything clicks with him. Yeah. Like, I know Kane is unbelievable and he's the star of the show there, but I don't know, I just think at some point it's like, let him go, man.
Well, even if you take sentiment out of it and say, he's their player, they can do what they want with him, I do think it just, he's the most ridiculed player in the league last year, Richarlison, but he is there, and we saw that he does have undeniable ability. So it's not like you're leaving now with 2 days to go and then no striker to fill it in.
Yeah,
you have a new coach coming in, you have a striker there, you have a younger team. You're getting offered this money that you will never be offered for this man ever again. Yeah. And the other thing is you're gonna have to pay him that money, And
then you could have to replace him with no money next year.
Exactly. He could, or if he doesn't sign, then you're at nothing.
Yeah.
Now, if he was to qualify them for the Champions League, they would then get that big bag of money again.
Yes. It all comes back to the bag of money.
The way to get the bag of the money is the question here for Daniel Levy. Do I get it now, or do I risk it all and try and get maybe more money?
Double my money.
How big is the bag that I get if I get the Champions League? He's thinking, then you talk about sponsorship and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's it's easy for us to say, just sell a big bag of money, bish, bash, bosh, done. Yeah. And he's thinking of the bigger bag of money. He's a bag of money guy.
Yeah.
He knows his bags of money. So I don't know. I think it's, I think I would like to see Kane leave. I think
I'd love to see Kane at Bayern. Just to see it. It just sounds so weird.
Yeah. It'd be one of those cursed images that you see, Alan Shearer obviously would love to see him leave as well.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait for this first quip on Match of the Day, when he does leave. That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, all besides that, if they keep Harry Kane and he's just like, what, I'm professional, I'm on 400 grand a week, I'm top until I die, maybe this year will win the Carabao Cup. I think they're solid, but same thing. I haven't heard any other transfers that they've made this season.
No, they've got a centre back in, Van de Ven, I think his name is.
Yeah, they made him the last couple of days, and they made Pedro Porro a permanent.
Yes,
but in terms of like really moving the needle, transfers,
no, yeah,
I haven't seen that.
It's been. I think it's more of been a clear out rather than a buy in. I think they're.
What's the opposite of a clear out?
Yeah, I couldn't think.
Overhaul. Yeah, but that's the same thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, James Madison they bought in.
Yes,
I forgot about that. And again, they made Kulchevsky permanent. I think he was on like a 2-year loan or a 1.5-year loan, something like that. But I mean, I think there's no doubting the goals that Tottenham could score up front. Mickey Van de Ven, the centre back they brought in for 40 million. Now, again, he could be a revelation. I don't know, but it's just you feel like they were the ones who should have bought Caicedo and a few others.
Make the push.
Because again, it's like, were they close to winning the league last year? No. Even with Kane. So it's hard to see them, even with Kane pushing on this season with Madison and a few others. It's just like I haven't seen enough to tell me that these are going to make a push for the title or even be third and fall away,
Did you see the clip of them against Barca the other day where they were like playing a totally new brand of attacking football that they haven't played in years? So I think they'll be exciting to watch, if nothing else. And also, I don't think they have any European football, which that is a big deal in this day and age where you don't have a game every second day.
Yeah, could be. It could be. I mean, the reason I suppose you play defensive football, ask Trapattoni or Vera Pau, it's because your players are terrible and lazy and bad. And essentially they can't defend or you don't trust them to defend.
Yeah.
So if you just switch to that now, Tottenham can score goals, but you do need someone at the back, a Van Dijk, if you will, to not get dribbled past ever, to make that style work for you. So we'll see how long the what's your man's name? Postecoglou,
yeah.
Coglu ball, Posta ball. What are they going to call it?
Coglu ball.
We'll see how long Coglu ball lasts before they start shipping goals, and they'll say, right, let's
keep it tight, no messing.
Right, lads, I'm going to put up on the whiteboard, it says low block. Right,
oh, fuck.
No, this is different.
I knew I should have gone to Bayern.
I'm putting
just this week, lads.
I'm putting them outside top 4,
Yeah, I am as well, yeah.
I think maybe they'll improve, I think, this year. Just positivity alone. Better vibes can't be bad for a team, Where they finished actually, like 7th or 8th? Or no, out of Europa League.
I think they finished 8th. I think them and Chelsea were way down in the table.
Yeah, madness. I think they'll improve up to kind of Europa League standards. But
yeah, I do think it'll be a tough season for the Villas and Brightons and maybe Newcastles. I think the other big teams will be, quote, back this year. That might mean 5th or 4th, but I don't think anyone's coming 10th this year like last year.
No. Speaking of them, Chelsea they've made some good signings. Nkunku was out though.
Yes, 3 months, and he was their starting striker. Which
that's why I was like, these will actually be good.
Yeah,
because you need someone kind of a focal point to score goals, I guess.
And Poch is good as well.
Yeah, and Poch, he's a new manager as well, to come in and bring in a kind of positive style or a new style for them. So it was all looking up. Hang on. Did they buy Robert Sanchez? Was he on loan to them?
No, they bought him.
From Brighton?
Yeah.
Fucking what a signing. They brought in Sanchez. Hopefully that fixes the goalkeeping issues they've had.
Yeah. Well, Mendy's now gone to Saudi Arabia, so.
Mendy's Saudi Arabia. Kepa is still there.
Yeah, who they never know whether to rely on him or not. Even though I think he was good last season. I know he wasn't fancy. Maybe that meant he was just making lots of saves, though.
He was good, but not good enough to keep his starting spot, I would say. I think Sanchez will probably take it off him. Yeah, a few injuries, but Levi Caldwell, he's like the next Sean Terry, apparently.
Yeah.
He's
Brighton were desperate to sign him. And I think Chelsea's reluctance to give him to Brighton has now resulted in Brighton being more reluctant to give Caicedo to them.
Yeah, that would be what's it called? Paperweight?
I know what you mean.
You've heard it, folks.
A make good.
A make good thing is what he would have been. You've read that phrase in Transfer Tilt before. A make good thing.
Yeah.
Brighton, you look at their transfer strategy and go, what are they doing, lads? You can't be giving away your goalie, but it always seems to work out for them.
Yeah, they know what they're at. Leave it to it, lads. They know what they're doing.
Chelsea, it's hard to know. Obviously, you look at their team and it's full of unbelievable players. I saw a lot of clips of Mudryk playing quite well.
Yes, he looks electric.
He is quite fast. Give him that, if nothing else. They have a bit of a striking issue, I suppose. They still have Broja, who I remember him at Southampton was quite good. He's still only 21.
Yeah.
They brought in Nicholas Jackson. Again, I'll have my doubts about Nicholas Jackson. And then they have Romelu Lukaku also on the books. We'll see if he features this year for Poch. But
hey,
you know what?
Who the hell is going to fucking buy him?
Exactly, because where else is he going to go? No one else wants him. So there's the makings of a good team there for sure.
And they've trimmed a bit of the squad as well, which will help. You're not having to be like, look, it's Kante's turn this week.
Yeah. I think with Pochettino being a very good manager, it'll just be, a more positive vibe around the place.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just look at their squad and think they can't not finish top 4 again. Like, it wouldn't make any sense. But
so far, every team is finishing in the top 4 except for Spurs.
I've got my team on top 4 is City, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I think the 4th place will be Liverpool. I already said that, didn't I? Yeah. Shit. Okay, yeah, Man United are 5th, Will. Sorry about it, bro.
5th?
They're 5th. Man United are 5th. I agree with them, those spoofers, man. They can't even get rid of McSauce. Do you have any thoughts on Chelsea, Will? I'm saying they're going to finish top 4 because it doesn't make sense for them to not be in top 4, but I don't know. There's no real logic or thinking behind
that. Yeah, I would say top 4. I think they'll do 4th. Now, that could easily, depending on the result of the first game, that prediction could wildly change. You go, nope, never mind, they're the same old. But no, I think it has to work, right? You can't just spend all that money on all those players and it won't work at least once.
Yeah. And you might be saying, well, have you forgotten about Newcastle? Well, I just did until Will said throwing a lot of money at stuff. Oh, yeah, Newcastle. Yeah. Will they finish in top 4? They might do.
I don't think they will, but I don't think that's the goal now because they're in the Champions League this season. I think give it a good go on all fronts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think they've really strengthened like a team that's like, we're on this again, top 4 again. They've made good signings. But I don't think they really went for it like people were expecting. I think it's still a long-term project and they'll be there every single year soon enough.
One of which we will, Harry Barnes.
Yes.
Newcastle, which you pulled my my Harry Barnes watch to grinding halt 3 weeks ago when you announced that he gone to Aston Villa. I was like, oh, well, that's that done. That hadn't happened at all.
Fabrizio fooled me again.
Damn you, Fabrizio.
He didn't give the here we go, but he said it's looking like here we go soon. He loves that one.
Yeah, here we go soon, which is a complete cop-out, by the way.
Yeah, lie.
I wonder, was that one of those situations where it was done, all we needed was a signature, Harry, and then he gets a call from Eddie Howe and said, how many zeros would you like, Barnesy? And then that was it, because, they can't really compete. But, Newcastle have made a few good signings. Like, say, Harry Barnes, I think, is a quality player. If you can stay on the pitch, they've got Anthony Gordon, the pressing machine. If you can beat Anthony
Mr.
Gordon's press. Anthony Jumpscare Gordon. If you can beat that press, I'll be very impressed, Premier League. They have got a few other players there who are obviously very good, but it's like I say, the signings they've made this year, Sandro Tonali, the most unenthusiastic signing
he does not look like he's up for it, no. I don't even think we talked about that clip of him being like, Oh, Milan's gym was bigger.
Yeah, he looked very, very sad. I mean, every picture I see of him, he looks very. He's not smiling in them.
And he was like very much Milan till I die. Like, I'm a lifer here, and then something happened, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm in Newcastle now."
Yeah, a kind of Lukaku situation and said, Sandro, we love you to bits, but it's a lot of money.
This is 70 million. And you wouldn't believe the under the table deals.
So, Sandro's there. He doesn't smile half as much as Justin Long. But maybe he can dodge the ball into the net. I don't know. I was going that one. Dodgeball 2004. Justin Long was one of the geeks in that. And Sandro Tani looks like him a little bit. If he smiled more, he would.
Yeah. He should smile more.
Hey, Sandro, smile more. They also signed Tino Livramento, one of the best names in the Premier League.
Do you remember him? Sheffield a few years ago? I think he cost 4 million and he regularly pulled in 7 points every game.
I think he was Southampton as well, maybe, or I don't think it was Sheffield. I'm not sure. I think there was another. Sheffield were a great fancy team when they were in it, for sure. That's your fancy talk, folks. I hope that clip has helped for the 2019-2020 season. Tino Livramento, great signing.
Yeah, put him on your watch list.
Also, anyone from Sheffield, if they're ever back, they were good. Also, I'm just seeing it now. Yankubu Minte, right winger, signed from Feyenoord.
Ooh, I tell you, a name like that from a club like that, he sounds like a player
on loan.
Ooh, smart business too.
Smart business. That's crazy, Will. 8 million loan move.
So there's no need for them to be doing loans ever.
Well, I suppose they did the outgoings. Maybe a little bit interesting. They got rid of Alan Saint-Maximin, their most exciting player before the money.
Yes,
without a shadow of a doubt. He
went for exactly how much it cost to buy Harvey Barnes. And he went to the owner's other club.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Again, we're under the table stuff. Transfer markets tell me they spent 44 million on Harvey Barnes, and they only sold Alan Saint-Maximin for 27.2 million.
27.2 million. I don't know when his contract was up.
They've also sold Chris Big Cat Wood.
They only bought him to stay up. Remember?
Yeah,
they took him away from Burnley.
Perverse things I've ever seen in the Premier League. They took Burnley's only chance of staying up, and now they've sold him on to, of course, they've sold him to Nottingham Forest, who bought him for 17 million.
17 million?
I was expecting to see free beside that, but no, it's 17 million.
Nottingham Forest are as mad as ever. Good to see.
It's also the end of the Matty Longstaff era at Newcastle. He's been released this year. It's not, those signings are not going to really push them.
I don't think so, no.
Beyond where they were last year, and like say other teams have improved, so I think they've managed to. You always got to keep buying players to stay where you're at, because teams will always improve. So I think they'll be as good as they were last year, but I think other teams around them will have gotten a little bit better.
Yeah,
that's my take.
I have no idea where they finish in the table. Could be anywhere from 6th to 10th, I suppose.
I think that they'll still manage to get into Europa League. So
yeah, I think they'd be the higher end of the not traditional top 4 or top 5 clubs. Like,
I think when the realization starts to come about that you're not going to make Champions League, it won't bother Newcastle players as much as it will Man United, or Liverpool or Arsenal or whoever might find themselves stuck behind the annoying object of Newcastle. Like, fuck's sake, these guys keep winning. They'll still be going for it, and they'll make that Europa League a spot ahead of someone else. I think that's how their season's going to go.
Obviously, they had no European games last year. It's such a huge load to take on, especially if they come third in the Champions League group and then you're into the Europa League. I could see that being what they would like, though, is that a nice run in the Europa League.
Has the draw been made for the Champions League yet?
No, not yet.
I could see them going on a run then before the draw's been made. And they're drawing the group with Dortmund, Ajax, and Real Madrid. I can see them going on a run. Because it's all done on the coefficient if you've ever been there before. So they're almost guaranteed to get a bad group. But they'll be like, we can't, forget about the Champions League. We're playing fucking Real Madrid. This is the biggest game we'll ever play.
We're in the Champions League now.
Yeah, that kind of thing. The thing that everyone says you should do, and then when they don't make Champions League next year, and you're gone. So yeah, I think they could have a good season, but maybe not finish as high in the league. Who else we got then? Well, I suppose we have Man United then. I suppose of the top 6 clubs, all the top 6 clubs.
I think it's like the top 8 now.
It's growing all that because again, if any Aston Villa or Brighton fan saying, "When are they going to get to my club?" Probably not in this episode.
Everyone is very good.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa have bought well this year as well. Brighton again, they feel like New Southampton, where it's like, they'll never have a bad season.
Yeah, until
I can tell you, just one of those seasons where that diamond in the rough doesn't work out.
Yeah,
it could be an issue, but. Yeah, look, we'll get into one final look at Man United, I suppose, and that'll wrap up the whole predictions. What is your feeling on how it's gone, Will?
I think this is probably the best, or maybe not the best, but definitely the most well-run transfer window United have had in a long, long, long time. They had clear targets. They had plan Bs for if those targets didn't work. There was no drawn-out sagas, really. Mount went on for a bit and Onana did, but it was very much like fixing the final details rather than Chelsea being like, we're not selling them, which was like the old sagas. So that's very encouraging, I think. They've made some big changes, obviously getting rid of Maguire, getting rid of De Gea, who were like two big clouds over the club last season of just the fans were always on their back, everyone was on their back. They weren't performing well. The pressure seemed to be getting to Maguire, especially.
Do you think so?
Oh, I think he totally it transformed him.
You think that ruined his life a bit? Maybe a little bit, I thought. Maybe.
I was thinking this today. Is he the first player to have been like ruined by memes? Do you know what I mean?
Ooh, by memes. Yeah, I think so, because I think he's of an age where he would have seen
He sees it all. And he was the memes also bubbled up to the stage where at the United game in Dublin a few days ago, where they played their B team as a whole scat. So the fans were already annoyed that there was a secret friendly organised for yesterday that came out after we all had bought tickets to this.
Yeah.
A lot of fans were booing Maguire, which is like at a preseason friendly for your own club, and he was captain last year. That is a big impact on your career for sure.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe James McLean is the only person who I saw social media have a massive effect on his career. Now, it wasn't about his performances.
Yeah.
Which I think everybody agreed were good, not great. Like on either side of his political views.
Yeah.
He's a serviceable winger, but he's not very good at scoring, crossing. But, he'll try very hard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Maguire, like, from such a high to such low, like, we love to build up people and then tear them down. Yeah. But this was such a rapid thing of that.
I mean, over the space of this podcast, he went from being United's most important player in our eyes to us saying, I don't see him ever playing for United ever again. And then he didn't.
Yeah. I mean, he's never going to be considered as one of the best centre backs in the world, which at one stage he was.
Yeah.
And it was a thing that we mentioned as well of being like, right now.
Yeah.
The best, give me 5 years and I'll look at the body of work and I'll see where he ranks as in terms of, who would I buy for 100 million?
Yeah.
So there was a bit of that, was a lot of hype at the start. And then, again, the midfield at United was all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Had Bruno Hernandez trying to stay out Ronaldo's way. And then, people love McSauce, Will.
Yeah.
But he didn't do as good a job as maybe he could have. And look, Maguire was probably not as good as people thought he was, but he's not as bad as people make out either.
No, I think him going to West Ham is actually a really good sign for them and him. I think he'll do really well there. If the West Ham fans get behind him, although if they immediately start booing and going, fuck, we got Maguire because of the memes they've seen, then it's going to be trouble again.
Yeah. I suppose a style of play helps as well.
Yeah.
Ironically, what Maguire used to do at Leicester was coming out with the ball. He used to go on those runs and score
long
goals.
Balls, yeah.
But it was a confidence issue. He just seemed to lose it. You know?
And like we mentioned, it was him and De Gea who were gone. I think obviously everyone knows Onana gone in, but I think that'll really help United this season. Even though he's going to get chipped every second week, it seems like.
You've heard of Lob City.
Yeah. But it's just having a player who can pass it out from the back. It's not even though he is considered unbelievable at it, having someone who's competent at it is such a huge step up. De Gea just could not do it. And someone who's also at the back getting on defenders and not just being like heads down when there's a mistake. That's huge, I think.
Yeah. No, I think they've definitely improved. It's just you might agree or disagree with how they did it. Again, that Roy Keane I just wouldn't have done it. I would have waited for next season. I'd say we'll do it next season, But this season, just the way those two lads run out of the club, just
not nice.
No. It really begs the question, like, why all those Twitter posts? What was that for? All those
all
fronting
those
up
statements.
I don't know. I think it might come down to a striker issue though as well. Will that's the only thing where I see it's just so important. You need someone who can score goals.
And it was a tough transfer window for them because obviously they went for Kane. I think they immediately, which is again good sign of growth for United. They were told 150 million they went, and that's maybe last year, lads, but this year we need 4 players, so we're not going to do that.
Don't need it. Don't need that hassle.
Yeah, too much hassle. So they just went for the best they could find on the market, which was, in their eyes, Rasmus Højlund. A lot of people have said, 9 goals last year, 70 million. That's mad. It is, but also, if it works out where he's serviceable for 5 years, it's not that mad a deal then. They've, if he scores 10 goals this season, or 9 goals, like people were criticising for last year, that's 9 goals more than Weghorst and Martial scored last year. It's a huge... 9 is better than none.
Weghorst, that was the maddest thing I've ever seen. I mean, just, a lot of players are signed and not played, and you go, why did they buy him? To see a player signed and played all the time and not scores like this guy.
They didn't have anyone else. They had no strikers.
But usually if you give a player a chance, like I say, he'll score 9 goals. Even if
he'll get there, yeah.
He'll get the classic 5 goals a season.
Yeah.
Playing with the top team. Just to get so little. It's just like...
It's funny. I saw his... he put up yesterday a thank you post for Man United. And he said, thank you for the fans for being behind me and all this. And he said, I've such highs throughout the season, winning the Carabao Cup, scoring my first goal in Old Trafford. He only fucking scored 1. Don't say first.
Last, best and worst goal in Old Trafford.
Which was also, I think, the 5th goal in a 5-0 Europa League game.
Hey, he had to score it though, didn't he, Will?
Yeah.
That was the insurance goal. That really put the game to bed, if I remember correctly.
But that's why I'm thinking this season, I think United will do well. I think they'll do better than last year. And they did quite well last year. But having it's a goalkeeper who plays the style you want, some semblance of a striker who can kick the ball in the net. Maybe not 20 times, but if you can do it 10, that's amazing. And then I think just having legs like Mason Mount over Eriksen, and then if you can bring on Eriksen, the squad is just better overall, I think.
Are you surprised? Honestly, are you surprised that they got rid of McSauce? Or do you think he's going to be the new Fletcher?
I'm not surprised that they're getting rid of him if they get the 40 million that they were offered, because that's
too much.
But it's the weird way FFP works, where it's works as pure profit because you signed him for 0 and it's 40 million.
Yeah.
So it's like you're encouraged to sell your homegrown players and sign in.
Crazy.
It's such a stupid system. Like again, Chelsea got rid of Mason Mount and they're like pure profit, and then they signed in fucking Nick Jackson or whoever.
That's the thing. It's like he's like the whole, because if you're Chelsea, you get thrown this thing like you're not really a club, you're all just plastic fans. And then you get an actual homegrown player that you spend millions to produce into your academy over the years.
Yeah,
and then the FFP says the best thing you should do with him, sell him,
give him to your rivals,
give him to somebody else. And then you can go back to be the plastic club. It's just they want everyone to become this nothing to do with the place they're from kind of a club. But I think I don't see it will. I think you know what? Maybe they will. Liverpool or Man United. You take either one of them.
Same as every year.
But I'm thinking. Well, all the years I would have said Liverpool would have been stronger. This year I have some serious doubts. I got doubts about both teams. But I think City obviously are very, very strong. Yeah. Chelsea, I feel we're all laughing at them, but they're playing chess. We're all playing checkers. Yeah. They're going to come back with a vengeance this year and go, well, this is bollocks, isn't it? You just finish 10th and then buy a lot of players.
I think
this.
I think what will help United this year is, I think it seemed like the plan for the transfer window was to raise the floor rather than like get in superstar players. As in, you get rid of Van de Beek, Fred, McTominay, you get in Amrabat and other players they're linked with. So it's like now your second and third choices are much better than they were, and your first 11 is still pretty much the same, which I think it's just a smart way of doing things. And I think they've been lucky that they actually planned ahead for once to be able to do that.
Wow, you're being deep in the Reddit. Yeah, raise the floor rather than raise the ceiling. That is amazing.
It's a good one, isn't it?
That's a great way to end it. You know, that's a real positive way to look at it. You know what? We're raising the level at the top.
It's the floor,
at the bottom. Really? The floor, of course. We stand on the floor. If we raise the floor, it'd be even higher. Yeah, look, I think it does feel like a big shift this year. We said it at the end of last year. It felt like an end of an era.
A lot of new players. A lot of players. I would say going into this season is the most players per like top team that I've never heard of or seen play in my life.
Yeah, well, we are podcasters, so we should say that. But we really are out of touch, folks. No, I think it's going to be a much more exciting season. Last year, hopefully. I felt like Arsenal would win it or lose it to City. That was kind of the only outcome.
And it became very obvious then a month out what was going to happen.
Yeah. And as well, I think when good teams are playing badly, it kind of ruins the league as well. Because it's just like, well, Chelsea aren't going to catch anybody. Neither Liverpool, you know. Man United are all over the place.
Let's wrap this up.
Tottenham are completely underperformed. You know.
Yeah, Brighton are there now, but they're not going to do it next year.
Yeah, when Brighton and Aston Villa are the ones who are like leading the charge for the others, it's like, okay, this isn't going to be very exciting. It's going to be one of two teams. So hopefully we get to at least to Christmas where there's like 4 teams that like, hey, you know what? We'll see how the Christmas period goes.
Yeah.
That dodgy Christmas period, whoever comes out on top there.
Old school Premier League with no international tournament either side of it as well.
Yeah, that's true. No, we have the Euros in the summer, don't we?
Is that next summer? Next summer, though. The league will be done, and then they'll be shipped to the Euros.
Oh, yeah, I get you. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, well, that's what we have to look forward to, Will. The best league that has ever happened. Yeah. Put that on the wall. Have we been keeping track of the wall?
Yeah, we only have one guarantee so far.
What was that?
You guaranteed that PSG would win the Champions League.
Oh, actually, did you see how they signed?
Who did they sign?
A Benfica striker.
That's smart. I saw Neymar wants to leave as well.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, we might be able to arrange that. They signed Ramos. That
yeah. United were linked with him.
A classic good signing.
Yeah.
The striker for Benfica. They're back, baby. They are so back right now.
No pressure on him.
No, he's got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, he has everything to prove.
But
nothing to lose, I guess. It's a good signing, is what I'm trying to say. You know, you got
guarantee stays.
I'll tell you, the guarantee stays on. PSG to win Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in. That's locked in, baby. Him and Ugarte in the engine room.
What a player.
I tell you, I'm getting Gumieras vibes. A player I've never seen or heard of, but I know is going to be good. And I was right about that. I'm right about this. I'll tell you what, folks. Champions League, Cup competitions, a lot of it happens. Is it the weekend or is it the midweek? Oh, yeah, it's the midweek. How are we going to cover them? A second episode.
Boom.
Another question. Here we go. Well, how are we going to listen to that? I'll tell you, you're going to listen to that. You go listen to that on patreon.com/no-nonsense-pod.
Yep.
$4.50 a month.
Yep.
You're going to get an extra episode every week. It'll usually be the Cup competitions or the Champions League episodes. If there's nothing on, folks, there'll be something.
Oh, there'll be something on.
There'll be another show called After the Nonsense.
Very high energy pitch.
We'll see how After the Nonsense continues throughout the season, because a lot of times we feel, nothing's happened this week. There's always something.
Yeah.
You know, but listen, what we're seeing is if there isn't football on, a rare week, you will still get a show. So you subscribe, you'll get guaranteed 2 episodes a week every week. It'll be football based at the very least. It mightn't be a full show in there, but we'll do some other fun stuff as well.
And also, you'll get the backlog. There's 20 episodes of After the Nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
Go back and listen to our Champions League semi-final episode from last year. You didn't know we did, maybe. A lot of predictions that did not come off. But hey, it's entertaining at least.
It's a great time to become an ultra.
Yeah.
You can become Ultra at patreon.com, like I said, /nonsense-pod.
And hey, we're not taking the regular pod away.
Mate, our regular pod's staying not all behind the paywall. Half and half, baby.
Yeah,
you get a sample every week. You like what you hear, you
Yeah.
come for more, but that's going to cost you.
Yeah. Not like
You
some
know.
other football podcasters.
No, we wouldn't even mention that now, but that is not something that we would do personally. We haven't got too big for britches just
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
yet, Will. We know what we have,
Yeah.
and it's a very small but loyal fan base that's growing by the week, to be fair. Every
Yep.
time I look back, it's like, whoa, another person.
Yep.
So you want to join the bandwagon, as it were, head over to patreon.com /nonsense-pod. Become an Ultra today. And we will see you for the best season
Yes.
of
the big
Premier
one.
League football.
Here we go.
That's an official here we go from Wales,
Premier
folks.
League. Here we go.
It's on.
Here we go soon.
Here we go soon, starting in a few days. And we'll see you then.